is Sunday, July 18, 2021. Day 8. Vlog number 1568. Currently, I'm just uploading the vlog from yesterday, so by the time you're watching this video, yesterday's vlog should already be up. Please be sure to go check it out. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I still have ants. I just got off the phone with my mom, and I had some ramen that I had left over earlier to eat. Now I'm like super hungry, and I feel like all I have to eat is literally ramen and those Crunchmaster crackers. Let's see, I have cereal, and I have chicken nuggets, and I can make some spaghetti, and I could make some mac and cheese. But I think I'm gonna probably actually make some eggs and just eat them with like a butter paratha that I had store-bought made. Hey Goo Goo Gaga, what are you doing? What are you doing, Goo Goo Gaga? Hey. Hey. I don't know for sure because I showed my mom the internet, like Instagram, and it had two guys on it. One was Charlie Puth and one was this other good guy. He was a much older man. And he was just on the screen that I was on when I was looking on the internet, when I was on the phone with her, and she was like, he was really cute. I was like, yeah, I know, because I'm a star. Yeah, 2 eggs. Guys, so I've just been like looking up, and I've been like trying to maintain some type of a current knowledge on medical training. So what I'm thinking about doing is actually using a smaller gauge needle on the pediatric patients if I have one. If I don't have a smaller gauge needle in my office, then obviously I won't be able to do venipuncture on like if I'm absolutely iffy on a ped patient, like for example with the girl yesterday. I have these syringes. I think they're like 5cc syringes, and they have, obviously they have needles that come with them. If they're smaller gauge needle than the one that I have on my butterfly needles, then I can use those, and what I can do is just like puncture the vein that I find with the smaller gauge needle, and then I can either do a syringe blood draw, or what I've seen people doing is actually puncturing the vein and then removing the syringe part of it and just leaving the needle part and like the colored portion of that needle that comes with it in the vein, and then just letting the blood actually drip out into a tube. That seems pretty promising, because like pediatrics for a medical assistant are a little bit extra, you know, like you really have to know what you're doing and stuff. So that means like everything else in the scope of practice for a medical assistant that you know that's like expert level, and then you can start kind of slowly heading into the pediatric stuff. So yeah, and like I would really have to like take time with it, so because they do take a lot longer with pediatric patients, and I'm not talking about absolutely like infants and stuff, and I'm mostly talking about adolescence, so something around, let's say 5 or 6 and above. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anything below that as far as venipuncture, because I don't even know. I really think that I have to do a lot more research as to how to treat people that are like below that age. Because I mean, you really have to have the right gauge needle to puncture small babies, and or people that are like, I would say under the age of 5 at least. You know, use a smaller gauge needle, and one that's actually specifically made for pediatric patients, which we don't have at my urgent care. So just kind of winging it with them. So I'm gonna try to do this. I normally don't stick them more than once if they're a pediatric patient, and yeah, so if it requires more than one stick, I'm probably not gonna do it anyway. But I'm gonna try to obtain, or I'm going to try different methods other than just using the regular size butterfly needle that I have, or like the straight needles that we have, which are typically larger, and I would say probably too large. I think what happened in the child yesterday was like the gauge was just a little bit too big, and that basically caused the blood to leak out onto the arm, and pool. So yeah, it's just a little bit too big. And probably my technique was not right either. I just used your typical like venipuncture technique that I would use on any patient, whether it be an adult or geriatric patient. And usually that technique can work if I'm not uncertain on any pediatric patient that comes into our clinic. We normally don't do venipuncture on small children anyway, because you really have to have a lot of faith in the medical assistant that's doing it. Yeah. So I really have to like try to practice a new method of or a different technique of obtaining blood for those pediatric patients that we do see. Other than the needles that I have, I guess I have some smaller gauge. I think I have them, but I'm not at the office right now, so I can't even say, what gauge those are right now. It's just what I think. So I'm gonna try to use that one next time when I get a chance to draw the blood and see if that works. Hopefully it will, if it's a smaller gauge. If it's not a smaller gauge, then I can't use it, obviously. And it'll just drip out. So once you like puncture it, it'll just like drip out from the nozzle, if you will. It just like drips out into the tube. That's what I saw somebody doing, is like it would drip out into the sample tube. So you'd have to take the lid off of the tube. Anyways, I finished that. I think I'm gonna have some cereal. Hey, pediatric medicine. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been doing today. Like, was looking at videos on and like researching on how to do blood draws on pediatrics, because eventually if you go into like an MA, you will have to do pediatrics. You can't avoid it forever. You can't. You just can't. You will eventually get into that. It might seem easy, but it's like the most annoying thing to do. Pediatrics, and what's the other thing I was looking at? Oh, and then I obviously have to brush up on all of the stuff that I've already been trained on, like how to do EKG and stuff. So that the pediatrics side, you'll just be brushing up on everything that you've been trained on. But when you get into pediatrics, like, or when you've done everything else and you know everything else, like, and you've experienced everything else, you will get into pediatrics, like, because, and I try to avoid it all the time because, like, it's really tedious, and it's really, like, it's like really detailed stuff, and it takes a lot of, I don't know how to describe it, but it takes a lot of like mental stability or mental orientation in order to actually do that and be good at it, as a professional. Because once you have the pediatrics done and out of the way, there isn't really anything else left to do, you know? For your basic, like, intro into healthcare. And then after you actually get really good at doing that, then you can actually focus on other more broad stuff. Like, if you want to go into OB-GYN, it's a good idea to get the pediatric stuff and all that, like, nitpicky stuff out of the way first, I feel like, because that just seems like it would come first, and then go into the more broader stuff that you're going to end up getting paid more for, and like stuff that you're constantly learning, you know, because labor and like giving birth and stuff, like, you could always be learning on that. You can always use refreshers on that, and you can always be perfecting that skill, because it takes like a really experienced MA to go into OB-GYN, I feel like. And like, at least somebody that has reached where I am, I feel like. Anyways, so that was my day. I was sleeping for most of the day as well. I just like ate and went to sleep, and I got up and I talked to my mom. Now I'm vlogging. Anyways, everyone, I'm gonna close the vlog. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys on the next vlog.